Next question is from East Mesa. What does God say about suicide? Okay, let me start here. There could be several motivations for the question, and so I want to make sure maybe that we hit all of them. If you are sending this question because this is something that you are thinking about, I just want to tell you there's hope. There have been seasons in my life that were awful, terrible. I had those kinds of thoughts, okay? But kept trusting God, kept moving through, and whatever it is you're going through, this too shall pass. And so I want to encourage you, if that's you and you're asking the question because of that, talk to somebody.
And I'll add to that, you can dial 988. If that's something, if you're dealing with suicidal thoughts and you're feeling like you're isolated in a dark place, don't stay in isolation. That's an easy lifeline. It's just like 911, but it's 988, and that's a suicide helpline, just to throw that out. Keep going.
Well, that's where I was going. Get some help, and that's an immediate. Please connect with your campus pastor or one of the pastors on staff. But have the conversation. There's people all through the Bible that went through really difficult things. Elijah had those thoughts. Jonah had those thoughts. Some other people in Scripture had those thoughts. But make sure that you talk to somebody and keep moving forward. It's not over. It might feel like it is, but there's a whole lot of hope. Second side, if you ask this question because somebody that you love committed suicide, it could be that you come from a tradition that's the unpardonable sin. The only unpardonable sin is to reject Jesus. Is to tell God, I do not want your love, I do not want your mercy, I do not want your grace. And God will say, okay, have it your way. And so suicide doesn't mean that the grace of God is not there. And so I want to say it that way. At the same time, suicide is a sin. Suicide is very selfish. Suicide is a very self-focused, self-centered thing to do. And so if you're having those emotions and feelings, it could be, well, I can't see anything else. That's why you want to talk to somebody. Talk to some people that can see what you can't see, okay? Because God is bigger than this season of your life or what you are going through. And there's a whole lot of hope. So on one end, if you've had relatives and you're like, can they still go to heaven? Yes. On the other end, if you're having those emotions and feelings, please talk to somebody. Don't make that selfish, sinful decision. That would be the worst decision you could make. Don't do that. And this is something that is heavy. And so please take those steps. And thanks for that quick response number, 988.
988. Yeah, and I would just add to that, to reiterate, the last thing you want to do in that situation is to isolate. You want to be surrounded in community. This is why, so principally, what does the Bible say about suicide? The Bible talks a lot about community. Talks a lot about building real friendship, being surrounded by others as iron sharpens iron, that two are better than one. To not go it alone. There are no if you're like, no, I'm a lone wolf when it comes to my faith and it comes to following Jesus, and I'm just, no. You were meant to be in community, which means being in a small group, having people that you can have real, honest conversations.
Friends.
Yeah. That you can talk about the things that you're thinking about. Not even just the things that have happened or that you've done, but you can actually process, hey, I've been feeling this way, I've been thinking this way. The Bible would teach us that we're to be surrounded by community because God will speak through others and he'll use others in our lives for his love to be poured out into our lives. And so don't isolate yourself. That's my last thought on that.